Alright. I think I'm live now. OBS was giving me some difficulty saying I wasn't set up to automatically go live and just, you know, doing classic OBS things. So yeah, I decided I'd stream some Jamestown because it's a fun game that I haven't played in a while, and I was kind of unhappy about both getting blocked up in Infernax and just sort of how I handled that. So figured something chill that I know I can at least do something respectable in will be a nice sort of palate cleanser for that. So might as well. So it has been a while since I played. As you can see, I've gone through it a fair bit. Haven't played as much on the higher difficulties, which maybe I'll try to do that today, get some clean runs on higher difficulties. But that was because the last time I played, I was finding that I could get pretty high-ranking scores on the more middle difficulties. And some of that might have been due to the maturity of the scoreboards, and some of that might just be due to the practical considerations, like, you know, if it's easier or more consistent to pull off a certain route. But obviously there's more stuff to score on in the higher difficulties, and that makes it easier to stay in Vaunt mode, which is really the key to high scoring, or one of the keys. Anyway, yeah, might as well start off on the first level, and I think Legendary is probably a good place. Well, I'll try on difficult. I mean, normal itself is nothing to totally sneeze at, but we'll do difficult. And I'm gonna not show the prologue just because those tend to go on for quite some time, especially if you're repeating runs over and over again. Maybe if I do a gauntlet run, I'll have the prologues on at the time. Alright. So I'm going to rebind the controls to the way I normally do it. I'm playing on a stick now, and this is just sort of the layout I've found that I prefer. It was really similar to what I used in Crimson Clover. Alright. And I think pretty much the standard, the go-to, is generally the treason build here. It's not a controversial pick in that case. Yeah, let's see how this goes. Let's see if I'm totally rusty. If this ends up also compressing poorly or whatever, that's another thing to learn from. For these, but that makes enough sense. Holy shit, how did I not die there? It's actually not half bad. I guess we are in difficult and not in This is actually going better than I expected. Man, I keep on just having absolute godly luck with those, I don't even know the names of the enemies here off the top of my head. The guys with the these suckers. Not only avoiding their patterns, but getting the optimal kill where you take out the whatever their 3 sections are. Before you actually get the kill. Okay. Now... Oh. I missed. Probably, if I was really going for score, I wouldn't have speed killed him quite like that. But that was a good run. No hits. Spent most of the time in Vaughn. 107 seconds. That was pretty good. I'm not displeased here. I'm actually going to pull up the stream and see how it looks in terms of compression, because I know that, you know, this isn't the most noisy visual game, but it's with all that's happening on screen, it's possible for the bitrate to be insufficient. So let me pull that up. Now's when I really want to have 3 screens up. Okay. I'm going to mute screen, but I will leave the window up, and we'll see how... I'll see how it looks, how happy I am with it. Yeah, I'll skip that. Okay. So, I might as well try that on Legendary. I think in difficult mode, it's just, you know, being one of the lower difficulties, it's harder to get really much meaningful scoring done there. Oh, it looks like the latency is pretty high. I'm going to swap my latency on YouTube. I don't know if that will scuff everything right now. Oh, can I not change that while the stream is live? Well, that's something to remember. I didn't reuse settings for this. I had everything set up nicely when I was doing Outer Wilds, but didn't just copy those settings over, which maybe I should have. Anyway, let's swap back over and get back to gaming. We'll try a legendary run. Same build, same strats. There's a couple other builds that I like. I think the laser with drop, really like, and like the duck formation I really like. But this is, you know, pretty consistently, if not the best, one of the best, and one of the most straightforward builds to play. I also see my mic going pretty high, so if I'm peaking it, I guess I'll watch the replay to figure that out. Okay, launch early. Oh no! Well, that's early enough. I'll just start again. So it goes sometimes. Looking at the video preview, or looking at the video playing on my side, it actually looks pretty good. I guess the pixel art isn't too noisy. That's nice. Playing fire here. didn't get the optimal kill there, but got enough bits or gears or whatever you call them to get to maintain Vaunt mode, and then I die. I'm throwing. I'm gonna reset that. No pressure here. That's one thing about the routing, especially on, here, but pretty much everywhere for high scoring. You want to just get into Vaunt as quickly as possible. Alright, got the good kill there. Not there, but it's fine because our meter is pretty high right now. So yeah, this is where the next wave comes in. Once you get into the higher difficulties, it becomes a lot more helpful to know where the waves are coming from. I'm actually not 100% sure how much bullet ceiling is a factor in this game. I don't remember exactly. But that's basically, if you're right on top of enemies, sometimes they won't shoot, and that's a sort of a risk-reward mechanic because you do have to play a lot more forward generally when that happens, and especially in a so-called vertical game like this, where this is a vertically scrolling shooter, but it has, it's a horizontal layout. It's a wide screen. You can't, unlike some vertical shooters, rely on being able to. Oh my God, no! At least it was on the boss, so. Oh yeah, and you get Oh my God, I'm throwing. I forget these boss shot heads. And I'm not quite used to reading the screen as I used to. Still not terrible. And we got a better score than the last time. We broke 1 million. Even though we took the 2 hits. Both on the boss, though, and those were silly mistakes. We actually got a longer Vaunt combo here. But what I was saying about... I lost my train of thought. I feel like I was more focused when I was actually mid-game. Okay, I'm going to close my video preview tab. Just go back to the YouTube control tab. I wish I had thought to change the latency, but again, it doesn't seem to be a big issue right now. Okay. Yeah, that was not half bad. I think I might maybe go for a few more. Let's actually see. I don't know what my best run in this game. I should have clicked skip story. That's what it was that I goofed up. So that was a little over 1 million. Let's check the boards for the East Frontier. Okay, yeah. You see here, I'm not sure that Roxas ZX here is totally legitimate. White Wolf, ne'er be, definitely not brain, you know, probably legitimate, probably pretty good. Because there's some people at the top, you know, super players that are rare that are just incredible, but unless, you know, Roxas found some sort of incredible exploit here, he's, you know, or a milk. Not quite trusting that one. But yeah, you can see, interestingly, there's actually a pretty decent variety of builds in the top leaderboard here, which is pretty cool. It's, you know, the part of that is it's not the most competitive. So I see we're 116. Was that the current? I think that's a little above the score that I just got. Unless I'm mistaken. So I'll try that once or twice more. I'll see if I can get a clean one. I like to get the runs without deaths, and, you know, again, you also get bigger bonuses because when you're not dying, it's also more likely that you're spending more time in Vaunt. And I just need to remember how to avoid the specific boss attack patterns there, because the rest of the stage was clean and pretty consistent. And this isn't hyper-optimized routing by any means. Right. I got a little sloppy. Again, a bit of rust going on here. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's, or at least I was either not close enough or there is not bullet ceiling for those little tanks. I'll probably play the stages a bit in order here, but I do remember, I think my favorite stage was either Badlands or Croatoa. I know there was a bunch of really good stages, and even the ones that maybe irritated me a little bit at some points were more, they were challenges, and once I got them, I appreciated and enjoyed them a lot more. Oh, missed that kill there, but... that Vaunt gauge up. Oh, one thing I remember is taking out oh no! We'll try what I'm thinking Oh yeah, one of the things I was going to mention is you notice when I go into Vaunt mode, it sort of highlights a circle around me that slowly shrinks, but it cancels all bullets within that circle, and so I'm invulnerable for a bit, but also I can use that to just, I can use that more aggressively to wipe out the, the various shots coming at me, and I just threw again there. And since we're coming up to the boss, I'll, oh, never mind. So yeah, kill these guys, and then just sort of gather those as late as possible so that you have a higher Vaunt gauge when the boss appears. This is all pretty... Yeah, I'm not gonna... I'm remembering my own sort of tips and tricks that I use to get up. I don't know what my... So I played this game more on the Switch when it came out. Because I'm pretty sure it was... I'm pretty sure Plus was released on Switch well before... I mean, not a huge amount of time. It was released on PlayStation much before any other platform. And sort of, you didn't hear much from the dev for quite a while. Oh no. I can't lose Vaunt there that early. It's much nicer to have a long Vaunt chain than just about anything else you can get going on. Good score items here, but I stayed in Vaunt, and that's the real trick. I gotta watch out for those suckers. Even when it's not necessarily conducive to scoring, I tend to be a fan of speed killing in a lot of shmups. It's a playstyle I enjoy, and I'm not a super player, and so I'm generally not going for ultra high risk, high reward gameplay. Though it depends. No. Well, I'll accept that for now, since it didn't come from a death. Yeah, you see there, I was actually canceling the bullets as they came through. Okay, so we're gonna let the Vaunt gauge run down. Yeah, and we get these items much later. And so we have a much higher Vaunt gauge when the boss comes in. Okay, yeah, there actually is scoring to be gained from canceling boss attacks. Oh no! That last hit, I totally was throwing. I feel like I'm peaking the mic badly here. It's not even that close to my face. I'm gonna turn the gain down a little bit. I'm doing this adjustment sort of apropos of nothing, but I know that I have a tendency to be loud, and so hopefully it's not unbearable and a mess. I'm actually gonna turn the volume down a bit on my side. Okay. yeah, that was... Hit the OK again. That's one thing, the UI of this game. Yeah. We'll go for one more. One more attempt at a clean run. You know, I'll finish one more run of this stage, whether it's clean or not. We'll try for a clean. I might reset if I screw in the beginning. And then I'll move on and try some other stages. So yeah, one of the other builds I really like is the, I think it's the laser? So, you know, they're grouped into these different categories based on where they showed up in, I believe, DLC. I didn't play the game originally. I was aware of it because when Jamestown first came out in 2011 or so, it was a decently popular indie. And so these were the first 4 ship options. And I can't remember if these are all unlocked immediately when you start playing the game, but the later ones you unlock through various challenges and buying them, which I all did, did all a long time ago. Yeah. Again, I might play with some more later. So yeah, this one you see it says customizable. Access. It's customizable, which means that you can pick, slightly different configurations of the same base ship, which is pretty cool, and allows for some really unique playstyle. The treason ship I choose that I've been playing is much more. It's a pretty standard ship, honestly, but it's it's got the straight ahead regular shot and then the seeking missiles. Pretty fast. Pretty fast movement speed. Slows down when you are dropping missiles. Which is almost the only reason I ever want to not be doing this. In the same way that timing out I need to go over to the right to get those higher scoring enemies to get their item drops. But yeah, certain enemies have different ways to build them that are more valuable. So you see, most of the characters that get dropped with bolts have this sort of dull coloration, and some you'll notice are much more bright gold. And that bright coloration both means that they're better and also sort of indicates that you did something special, right? Which usually involves a higher degree of challenge or knowledge. And it's not even necessarily they're intrinsically more challenging. A different way that you have to specifically target each. Any sort of limitations on your playstyle add challenge. Sort of going on feel here. I'm not, my skill isn't great, but I have a different feel for things than I did when oh man, I almost walked on there. Okay. Look at these guys. Ooh, that was good. Oh no, I didn't mean to intentionally exit Vaunt right there. That was a mistake. I hit the Vaunt button again, sort of absent-mindedly, which gives you... I mean, the way that you get the invincibility when you enter Vaunt is similar to a bomb feature, where it, you know, cancels bullets around you. You can intentionally exit Vaunt and get that same sort of benefit, but obviously you then lose the scoring benefits of staying in Vaunt mode. Again, I hit OK. Skip. And so it's sort of a... I guess it's sort of more like cave games in which using the bomb or similar feature is essentially a way to save yourself from a bigger penalty, but it also takes you away from you know, the optimal, the best route. You'll never get the best score if you intentionally exit Vaunt that way. Unlike some other bullet hell games where entering and exiting, or rather entering and exiting hyper mode or whatever you call it, or using your bombs can be, you know, part of the scoring strategy. And so here it's just much simpler. For the most part, the biggest chunk of scoring is get into Vaunt and stay in Vaunt as long as you can. And, you know, a lot of the more of the specifics are knowing how to do that. Yeah, let's go ahead and try. I think we're doing pretty good, so let's stick with Legendary mode. We'll try Dark Sector. As you notice, I've never even... I might have on the Switch, I can't remember, unlocked Judgment mode. I don't remember what's required, I might not have. But also, if you look at the leaderboards, you know, top scores aren't all in the highest difficulty. They're in a variety of difficulties here. So it looks like there are some of the top difficulty. And interestingly, White Wolf and Nerby here look like they're showing it's playing in normal mode, which is interesting. And that's just for that one stage. So actually, let's see on the leaderboard. Where are my scores? East Frontier, I'm 116. Not bad. Dark Sector 318. That's what we're about to do. Badlands 110. I know that was one of my favorites. Phobos 28. Okay. Phobos, I think that was one I remember really liking. Not Croatoa. Croatoa, I remember is. I feel like that's the one. It has like maze elements. It has more than just the regular shoot 'em up gameplay, which is cool, but also, if I remember correctly, it's longer and more challenging. New Madrid 66, I really enjoy that one. You can see there's a huge variety of both difficulties and play ship styles here, which is pretty cool. Demos 175, not bad. And Croatoa 116. Okay. Super Gauntlet 138, which there's probably fewer scores. Page 1 of 49. So where's mine? 12 of 49. So we're in the, you know, top quarter. Not too bad. Gauntlet 256. That's pretty well up there. And you can see I played that on only difficult mode. So I think if I wanted, just because of how I like to play the game and how I tend to do best, if I really wanted to go for super high scoring, I'd probably pick a specific stage to play for rather than one of the gauntlet modes, and you know, just try all sorts of things. Try it with different ship builds. Try it with different difficulty modes. Some of what to see what's optimal for my playstyle, and some of it to just get more practice. Because I think even if I decided to play for score on Legendary, playing on a higher difficulty, playing on Divine for practice would be great, because then I'd step back down and get I could be even more focused and feel easier. All right, let's go with Old Arrival. That's the thing, a lot of the other builds can be really powerful and great for specific routing and specific challenges. But they're not always as immediately applicable. Whereas there's really not a situation, or not many situations, where treason is, uniquely bad. So it suits a good general play style. I think entering Vaunt here early is a challenge. I feel like there's certain enemies here that are hard to... Maybe this guy. I can't remember if point blanking has any scoring implication here, or damage implication. In some bullet hell games, attacking enemies at point blank range can give you a better score. Son of a bitch. Ran right into him. Oh, that's right. I know this was a... you get under him. It's a high risk, but also very effective way to get the ball. Oh. Yeah, no. That's fine. No worries here. Unlike Infernax, again, one, I know that I will and how to get to the finish. But dying and improving and load this. I think there's a way to maintain Vaunt by killing... Oh no! I got broadsided. I think there's a way to maintain Vaunt by killing the small guy that shows up. I don't know... And I could be wrong here. I don't know that you can speed kill that big guy fast enough. And maybe you can with different builds. That's absolutely a possibility. Maybe I try one of those after I get a run. Got myself into that situation. I had a lot more trouble there than I did. That. Not a great run. let's just try a different... Well, actually, let's try it on a different... let's try this one more time, and I'll try it on a lower difficulty, just to sort of get my feet on the ground here. I'll finish the thought one of these days. One nice thing about trees as well with the horizontal gameplay is not only is your movement speed higher, but yeah, that was one need to not let that happen. But with the missiles, they're so fast and they're seeking so that you can get kills on the other side of the screen. Like that guy, like he was... Oh no. You know, that enemy was on the other side of the screen and it seemed like level underneath, at least obviously my straight ahead shot is not going to be much use in this. Yeah, you see, I killed it almost fast enough to maintain Vaughn, but I just missed it ever so slightly. Oh no. No! Yeah, you see, if you time your attacks to dodge time your dodges, tapping, you know, back and forth to dodge those shots that he sends out that are really close, the red ones. I'm just screwing around. You can get, you know, underneath him and kill him that way. But that's not necessarily the best way to take advantage of. I'm not feeling it right now. Let's try this at a different difficulty. Oh, I didn't mean to start over. I meant to go back. Already muscle memorying the menuing. Okay. Do Dark Sector. Do it on difficult. I really like this whole stage, but I really like the second half and the boss. If I remember correctly. Again, I really like most of the stages. But with regards to some of the, you know, crazy high-density bullet dodging and whatnot, I'm reminded of, I think it was an interview with a super player who was talking about, you know, when he sees gameplay from other people, or just general shoot-up gameplay, oftentimes you see people getting really impressed. Players are amazing because of, you know, dodging through crazy tight situations. And his thought was, you know, actually that's sort of an indication that they're not very good, because the best way to play the best and get the most, you know, high-level success is to not end up in those situations in the first place. Oh my god. That was God game. You can see their patterns aren't quite as intense here. I missed the I didn't have optimal Vaughn, but But yeah, you know, routing and you know, high-level play has more to do with, you know, risk avoidance is better than risk management. Risk avoidance and risk management is better than sick godlike reflexes. This whole part of the stage is an interesting challenge because, again, there's a lot of visual noise. Come on, and she's gonna run my ball. I swear when I was playing at when I first played this a whole bunch, it was possible to get into long mode and stay essentially having a separate font for the stage and the boss. Doing it here now. Yeah, I lost it there. Really ran it close there. That was an alright run, not too bad. One hit. You know, we lost Vaughn several times. You see, you know, Max come home with 38 seconds. And that's really, you know, that's not great. But yeah. And again, this wasn't one of the stages that I had the highest score on even when I was playing a bunch. I'm not sure of my rankings on the Switch. I think on the Switch, both the leaderboards are slightly different because it's not a shared leaderboard. But also, I think I just had straight up higher scores on some stages, which is, you know, it comes down to how much it was played because, if anything, input lag and performance should be better on the PC. And though I play with arcade stick on both, I don't have a universal stick, and so I have a PS4 PC stick that I use on the desktop that I like a little better than the Hori stick that I use for the Switch, which is still a good stick. Alright. Skip. So let's see, what was... We did 858 or something there. I know it was an 8-something score. We were already 318, but let's see, what was my best score? So I've gone over 1 million on that. That's nice. Actually, I forgot to check. What build did I use that time? Okay, it looks like it was Judgment. And it looks like it was actually the difficulty I just did. I think I probably just maintained Vaunt much more effectively. Because, you know, really, I also probably didn't take the hit. I did take a single hit this last time around. Let's... You know what? We'll try this with a slightly different build. We'll keep it on difficult mode just to... You know, this is a derusting session as much as anything else. I don't need to get too sweaty about it. So I really like the drop laser style. It allows for really interesting gameplay. And then of these styles, there's a lot of really creative. Lean is fun. You know, basically, if you're moving right, it'll start angling the shots to the right, which, you know, at a slower pace can make it easier, you know, especially if you're farther back, it can make it easier to control a larger swath of the screen. Duckling I also really like, because you can end up getting a good spread if they're all spread widely out, but also depending on your movement patterns, you can get their shot tightly concentrated in. So I think, if I remember correctly, and maybe it's not optimal, but again, it's fun. Drop duckling is probably my favorite way to play the laser build. And it also definitely allows you some ability for really creative speed kills here. You can see whenever I enter, because the dropped bit, you know, there's no danger of it getting hit. Also, oh no, I saw myself run into that like as it happened. But you can drop it over here and control that side of the screen. So here, you can drop it in the middle and prevent people from really effectively crossing over. It's really interesting and creative. Might as well finish the stage. I don't think I'm going for the score here, obviously. I like to at least do the boss fight. Pretty fun. And I like that it lets you still keep your score and your credit feeding, because again, you know, it's less punishing to the player that way. And really, you can't cheese it to be like, oh yeah, you know. No one's getting a top score with death abuse or anything. There's no death abuse to and because this game isn't really focused on getting the one credit part of the trouble with drop is it's, you know, you got to focus on its placement as well as your personal movement. that was that was a pretty mediocre run. Yeah, 5 hits. But I haven't played that ship style in quite a while. And I don't know that it's necessarily optimally suited to this specific mission. There's one I know in particular. I think that was Badlands or Dark Sector. I think Badlands is well suited to laser with drop. Let's try that one. Let's try in difficult mode. I remember I had definitely some. I think this is the one that I had the best score on. It was where I was 28th. I know at least briefly on the Switch I had the top score. I think I was dethroned there because I played a lot on the Switch in the first week of its release, and so a lot of people figuring it out. So, alright. Let's give this a crack. I'm actually really pleased that I've managed to maintain 60 frames. Oh, I picked the wrong shift. What did I? Oops. Laser drop duckling is what we like. Okay, this isn't the one I was thinking of, but this is also a stage I like. And it was also one... Oh. It was also one that was well suited to, I think, both Judgment and... Or both, these laser that I had. Some enemies here that there's unique enemies per stage. It's funny, I saw that a split second before I ran into it. So there was a button to say no right away. I don't really want to continue with a run like this, but I also probably shouldn't necessarily just throw them away now when I'm not score grinding. Red, they get mad and start different, more aggressive attack patterns. So the bear guys, it's like taking out both of them pretty close together. I really like this boss fight. I'm probably going to say that for every boss, but they're all good. Oh, damn it, I did it again. Those shot cancellations. tough to dodge for me because the horizontal shots coming in with like slightly different vertical levels just as like I don't even know what I got hit by there. And like I know what I got hit by, but it's hard for me to focus on. Drop can make that fight easier if you are good at placing it, because you can be in safer parts of the screen, or you can just go in and out of high risk areas if you have the skill to navigate it, which clearly right now I don't. Let's try that on difficult with good old treason, good old reliable. Again, you have to be more so. You need to be good and practice at playing laser in order to get that one to work in your favor. Whereas with treason, more general shmup skills will translate. Maybe we try the basic. Let's try the basic beam ship. It's got a wide shot, and the secondary, your power shot, is a focused laser. Pretty about as standard as it gets. Pretty middle, mid speed. Oh yeah, those blinking guys, which, damn, like it's nothing. They are one of the things, once you learn how to handle them, they're not that bad. Part of my brain is still thinking of drop. Short entering on there. I gotta look up the proper game terminology before I start making my own names. I don't think I have the clout for them to catch on. Specific routing of the order you take those guys out in. Beneficial here to making it not quite as hard. Which really, that's what, again, a lot of routing is just about making it less hard on yourself rather than oh, I thought I had what? Oh, I ran into... I don't have quite the natural feel for where my hitbox is, and I'm playing as if I do. On top of just being sort of, willy-nilly all over the place. That's how it goes. I do know that I've played a high amount of that one. Let's try. Probably won't get to all the missions. Maybe I try and get. Oh, screw it. Let's try this once more, and I'll see if I can get a clean run. Single run, not necessarily like a gauntlet thing, but a clean run of everything in normal, just to get everything down pat. One thing I will say really that this game excels at that a lot of other shoot 'em ups have, plenty of them will have lower difficulties. Oftentimes either the lower difficulty is still very hard, or the gap between novice and regular, like in the cave games or in Crimson Clover, the gap between novice and the standard or arcade difficulty is huge, to the point that you can be able to clear, you can be able to almost no-hit a novice difficulty and not be able to get past stage 3 or 4 on standard. Whereas here, the jump between normal and difficult to legendary and so on is more manageable. If you play normal a bunch and you start to play difficult, you'll have at least some basis to go on, which is, I really appreciate that. Which is not to say I'm doing this specifically just to get good. This is a challenge for myself as much as anything. And a D-Rust. Which, I guess is just a first step. The biggest challenge, scoring specifically in lower levels, is the fact that enemies are much more sparse, and that it's just harder to get enough items to stay in the north. Oh my god. Goofed that up. See, I can't even go through a stage in normal without. Some of those small guys get the gold score items by killing them when they jump. They did a good job of making the pop point in this game varied and interesting. Right back breakout. They're probably route very optimally way to stay on all or most of the stage. There's only a few points that are really more challenging here. You can be a lot more aggressive. Patterns are so much more sparse here. We're no hit up until now. We've dropped them on several times. Here it's nice and seek because I got hit because I ran into him. What an idiot. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. I just ran out of armor. Very nice. No, I did. That was my first hit. Oh well. Almost perfect. You see up at the top it says, henceforth you shall be known as the credit savers, and it'll give you a different name based on how many hits you took. So because I didn't have to essentially move to a second credit, it's emulating arcade games in this aspect where, you know, a single credit is, you know, you put your first quarter in and you get however many lives with that. You know, once you use those up, you can let the next guy on, or you can end your run, or start playing again. Okay. 420 enemies. Yeah, 41 seconds, longest Vaunt combo. Not bad. We'll call that clean. We'll call that good enough. Because it was basically me running forward after the boss was effectively dead that took the hit there. Unless I'm just completely forgetting something that happened over the last 3 minutes or however long this stage took. Alright, let's go to New Madrid. I really enjoy... Okay, that's right! So the lower difficulty normal only exists on the first 3 stages. So New Madrid and Croatoa start off at difficult. Moons, I believe, also start off. Yep. Oh yeah, Demos only has Legendary Divine Judgment. Which these are both really fun stages. So let's hit New Madrid. This one I really enjoy. And we'll do it with a standard ship. You know, might as well. All reliable. My brain keeps on trying to feel like the trains is to destroy the lead car last. And with these floating guys, you destroy all the little side bits first. I'm gonna do that with trees. So much. I remember that I haven't been reading them up till now, but the hints in this game are so good. The story itself is patently ridiculous, and actually one of the things you get by it's some sort of unlock. It's either through beating a certain amount of the game, or through it's either beating a certain amount of the game, or like doing certain challenges that you can essentially unlock. I think it's like Farce Light or something. But the game gives you silly alternate versions of all of the dialogue in the game. Game you shoot up is clearly a very dialogue heavy. One thing to notice, and I hadn't even thought about it there, when you destroy large enemies, we're destroying this train. You destroy that train car last, and then you gotta go. The large enemies destroy, all of the bullets in your vicinity get canceled, which is really handy and convenient. I'm not doing it intentionally for that reason now. But you can actually use that effectively to get protection in clutch situations. And one of these days it'll click and I'll have just like totally kick ass. It really doesn't all happen at once. It happens in I'll remember the waves first. So generally, as you play, as you grind these, especially if you're doing and focusing on specific improvements you can make to gameplay each time, like fucking up the start, but like eventually as you play through, you can focus on improvement very purposefully. Play with intention, practice well. Eventually, the different things you practice will connect, and then as you move on to playing and practicing other things, those click, and it all adds up. It's important to note that flying enemies have collision and will destroy you, whereas obviously like the trains and stuff, into them, if I fly over a train car or something, and again, sometimes there's advantages to doing that. Like, maybe not in this game, but in other games, you can do bullet sealing on ground enemies. Where you are in a close enough vicinity to them, they'll actually not attack. I mentioned earlier when I was playing. Another nice thing about playing lower difficulties is, obviously they won't have so much sparse, but oftentimes they have the same basic patterns, and so if you learn sort of how to dodge these well, it can at least hint to you, if not tell you directly, how to dodge tougher patterns and higher difficulties. always the case in every game. But it's often not the case. If you learn the principle. Okay, this is a cool multi-stage boss. The last stage is definitely tricky. Where you've got to like damage certain parts of it to expose actually damage. Second, I was like, is there a phase that I forgot about? Hey, we broke 1,000,000 score. That's not bad. This is one of the stages that I remember first having a lot of difficulty with. Partly because of those enemies that have the... I don't know what you would call it. It's like a whack-a-mole thing where the pegs come out of them. As well as, you know, sometimes you can try to get laser focused on scoring well with the trains. And that can suck away your focus that then causes you to die. Because you're paying attention to the patterns or the other enemies on screen. Okay. Skip story here. We were a little over 1,000,000 there. That was New Madrid. Let's see where what was my best score here? Okay, 1.283, and I actually did it with the treason ship there. Interesting. Let's see what the top scores were using. Our buddy Nerby again. One indication that someone's probably legit on top of their scores being not like outlandishly big, like the guy that had 100 million, is if they show up in multiple stage scoreboards. So Nerby is clearly indicated as pretty good at the game. I think playing on a higher difficulty and then getting a good clean run would be really we can get a good score there. So maybe if I decide to actually keep up the grind of this, I will consider that as a target stage, because it's really fun. The trains are a good challenge to get a good score on. The flying guys, I can't remember how to get the optimal score for them, if it's like to kill the green bit last or what. But yeah, so let's try Rota. Remember, this is a more puzzly stage. We'll stick with treason. Beam's fun and all, but it's just not my thing. And especially with some of the navigation you gotta do here. Being able to I just ran straight into those spikes. But rather than flexing and navigating through the super tight spot, you know, just being in the right place to go through, you know, if you have to dodge it first place. Like, the best is to not dodge a pattern. Second is to dodge a pattern when it's the easiest. Dodging a pattern when it's the hardest is cool, but not how to actually be good. Oof, and that I brought on myself. Okay, let's restart and try that again. Honestly, it feels like retrying or telling it to continue and then hitting the restart by menuing is quicker. Bit of a strange box. This is there's specific bits here that I do not. I feel like treason is actually a pretty optimal choice for this step. But again, obviously the play style for this one is quite different. That was stupid. That was stupid. finish it up. So little room to move around in. Alright, let's see. What is this boss? I don't remember it being that hard. I'm assuming we're near the boss. It could be that I'm not remembering the stage well. Also because maybe when I last played it, my natural tendency for routing led me to play a different side of the screen. You know, led me to go somewhere else. You know, it's really amazing how that can change myself at more risk than I need to, but getting some good dodges. 4 hits, not too bad. Oh yeah, he's got the final stage. Heart of Mars, yeah. I congratulated myself before it was over. This is another thing that, you know, I remember playing this with the laser build. Gives you different opportunities because you can stay again on safer parts of the screen. I'm just throwing. It's nice and not a big deal because this is stage by stage. So really you learn that it's oh my god, I almost had him. I almost had him. My score was on that. So that was Croatoa. Really, that one becomes harder, and so just surviving, just getting, you know, even not necessarily a clean run, but getting a single credit run through that will do you well. So yeah, another. Never mind, we're just looking at it. 16, so not too bad. Okay, still over 1.2 million, which again comes down to staying in Vaunt, and there's plenty of enemies, especially, you know, well, I guess Legendary is the lowest difficulty there. So, staying in Legendary. Well, let me gather my thoughts here. I know what I'm trying to say. you know, there's plenty of material to get the items to stay in vaunt mode for a long time, so that ends up being a big score. On top of there just being a large amount of enemies to kill for score in the first place, and it's a long stage. And you know, once you learn the boss patterns, but like obviously outside of the boss fight, there's so much emphasis on the navigation instead of just the combat aspect. Whereas in others, the stages are, you know, completely or mostly clear except for the enemies that you have to kill. So, I'm going to take a brief break here to the restroom and play some of the moons. Got some snacks here at my disposal, but I don't really have a dinner plan, so I probably won't play for too much longer. Maybe another half hour, an hour, and I'd like to at least get, you know, a decent run on Phobos and Deimos, and then I can decide from there. So Phobos, I remember historically being my #1 favorite. Interestingly, I think, if I remember correctly, it is one that is very much not at least I had challenges playing it with the treason ship type, and I remember, I believe, playing it specifically with the drop laser. So let's try that one actually. So, do I want to do... I'll stick with Duckling. I think that's a good, it's a good solid shot type. It doesn't add too much technicality to the run that I'm not going to be ready for. I did it again where I accidentally see the full font meter and swap out of font. That's not too bad. We're playing on a fairly easy mode. Dang. I guess the lowest we can go is legendary, so this is better than I thought. So this is a sick boss. This is one of my absolute favorites. Survival mode in this case. Here I can totally focus on dodging and collecting more items to stay in point while still doing most of the damage, because honestly the dropped laser is where the real meat of the attack comes from. Mostly. Not a great score, because you can see my longest Vaunt combo, 33 seconds, that's nothing. I'll loudly crunch the snack bag here for a minute. So yeah, I've not been looking at the specific number breakdowns quite yet, because that's something that's more useful when you're really trying to optimize score rather than get back used to the general play style. And I say, playing with intent and focus is generally useful, trying to improve on specific things. Right now, you could say I'm going against it, or you could say that my intent and focus is getting the feel back. Pretty generic. Maybe I'll spend some time working on Croatoa in the future, trying to get clean runs, just navigating through the more labyrinthine stage. And obviously, I'll play through the boss too, but mostly focusing on the movement to get through the stage and how to handle quick reactions in tight spots without getting squished. So, here specifically, I lost a ton by not being in Vaunt a bunch. But I think I still, played a decent stage here. And again, I really enjoy that one, and that's where I had my greatest success. I think my Switch score might be higher on that one. I'll have to check that and come back. Because again, the scoreboards for the Switch are separate for whatever reason. But yeah, Demos, the only one we haven't played yet. Let's give it a crack. I'll stick with treason for this one. I feel like this is a more treason appropriate stage. Like goofy old novel titles. Giant enemy crab. You know, again, that's one of those things that when you know it's coming, it's not that bad. You're caught off guard by it, you die immediately. Let's give that another go. I do think that Judgment is probably a good, or on the ship's wrong. I do think that Treason is probably a good call. At least with some ships, there's a way to kill that guy before he does his concentrated shot. All right. We're getting there. We're getting there. The fun part, though, is, like I said earlier, one of the many fun parts is that if I were to do like a normal difficulty after this, because I've been playing on difficult and legendary. What do I need to be doing? The normal would be much easier. Oh, I just let them get too many of those off. There wasn't. I was doing too much dodging and not enough prevention. Yeah, and I just let that bomb do it. Okay, let's... Man, that pattern is insane. I need to just not try to be firing the missiles at that point, because I just need to move to get away from those attacks. Oh, I remember this boss. This one's tricky. I mean, a lot of the bosses. But this one, I remember, gave me more trouble, because I think you've got to... Sort of like the one for bad things. Those out a little more, so it's harder to yeah, overall not terrible. Five hits is obviously nothing to write home about. Alright. 928, not terrible. do probably one last thing. I'll do a gauntlet on normal, which you see, because normal difficulty doesn't exist for New Madrid, you don't get that, and because legendary or difficult doesn't exist for Croatoa, you don't get that until you get a legendary. And I don't remember how to unlock Judgment. Let me check if it's on a Steam tab first, or I'll look it up if it's not a spoiler. Look it up real quick. I'll look it up later. No big worries. I'm just going to do a normal one here to see, you know, can I maybe get a no-hit run, or can I get a really good run of this? I will say, one thing that's interesting about running Gauntlet over individual stages is if you have a very particular build preference for individual stages that you don't necessarily use all the time, you would have to make compromises. So either you go with a more generalist build, or excuse me, or you learn to apply your specialist build, you know, and deal with it through the other stages. Treason again. Pretty general purpose. I do enjoy the patently ridiculous nature of the setting and the story of this. It's a lot of fun. Probably should have killed the guy on the other side first. This guy over here to get some to maintain my bond. Really want to optimize, you can wait till that guy almost all the way up here. You can really stay in bond a long time. Impressive on normal difficulty. The perfect player. Skip story. Let's just keep this rolling. Awful. Enemies are definitely more fragile in these lower difficulties, unless I'm just completely mistaken. This difficulty, they don't have that alternate attack, so they don't shred you. It's an opportunity to probably stay in pawn there. Got it a little close there. There we go. See how much easier this is in normal difficulty. Title for balancing fun with the inherently sort of try hard and sweaty nature of a score-chasing game. It's all about. There is like you said, a story here. There is narrative, but it's not why you play the game necessarily. You play this to try to get great gameplay scene. Went and closed my door there for a second. All right. Get on to this, for this run, final stage. We've been skipping the story, so I won't read it here. Again, gameplay, gameplay, gameplay. Suboptimally for you, you can take them out still. Another thing I noticed that a risk-reward mechanic. The mines, the guys that explode, seem to have dense, relatively dense bullet patterns. They give you more score and kill late, which is start pushing the time you have to kill them. Obviously, the safest thing is to kill them as quickly as you can and show them on screen. Yeah, 3 million is the score for a 5 moon run. One hit, 986 inches destroyed. Not bad, so over 2.5 million. Let's see how that stacks up my prior scores. Gauntlet did it at 256. I think that's the same as we were. Okay, yeah, I did one difficulty above and I got 3.8 million. Much bigger run, which, you know, additionally there's another stage there. And it's interesting though that it seems most people in this scoring in this range did so on a higher difficulty run, so that'll have more enemies and more in another stage. I don't know which is optimal necessarily, but I think that's, you know, at least relatively speaking, I think reflects well on my run here. Not to shit talk these people, I mean, obviously. So no PBs today. That's fine. Had some fun. Got some ideas for stages I might want to grind. Oh, sorry about that, Eric. I'm actually probably going to log off soon. I was also noticing earlier that I don't have it set to ultra low latency. It's on normal latency. And so there's a long time before I see the chat. Yep. Oh, is my mic super low? I'm sitting a little farther back now, and I turned the gain down because I thought I was shouting into it. I turned the gain back up a little bit. I'll do a couple more stages. So, let's do... I'll do some more East Frontier runs. I really like the... I really enjoy this stage. I don't have to justify that. We'll try legendary difficulty this time, just because we're going for a single stage. I mentioned before, I really like picking this treason ship. Yeah. I really like this particular ship, Treason. It's got a fast movement speed, a decently powerful straight-ahead shot, and the alternate attack is these seeking missiles, which are both fast and hit enemies anywhere on the screen. Oops, ran out of launch right there. So basically, you know, when everything's purple, that means I'm in Vaunt mode, which is basically my damage is higher, the score is higher. I get score for staying in Vaunt mode, and it just makes the rest of the game go better. But in the top right, there's a little meter that will go down over time, so I've got to fill it up with the score items. And you get it from enemies, and you notice that some of them are a dull bronze, some of them are a more bright gold. The bright gold are better, but they don't always drop. Sometimes you have to kill enemies in a specific way to get them to drop the... I fucked up. To drop the gold ones. So, like, this guy on the right, with his, like, 3 little purple things, if I destroy the 3 purple things before I kill him, he'll drop the better score items. Whereas if I just, you know, point blank him right away. Mentioning earlier, I'm really impressed at how well the video for this compresses, because bullet hells tend to be challenging for that sort of thing, because there's just a lot of noise in the video. There's just a lot of visual information. That was an okay run. So yeah, single hit didn't help me. highest combo there. Basically, that's down to how long I spent in Vaunt mode, the special scoring mode. And I don't think it's linear. I think it's I think the multiplier for that is based on difficulty and based on how long you stay in there. So like being in it for twice as long is more than twice as valuable, if I remember correctly. I don't know the exact mechanic, but longer time in Vaunt is better. And doing it for a minute and a half is better than doing it for 45 seconds twice. So that was 800 something thousand. Oh yeah. I haven't been showing the story segments, just because they're a sort of a time suck. But the story for this is pretty ridiculous. Basically, you're a hyper-fictionalized version of Sir Walter Raleigh fighting the Spanish conquistadors. Also the Martians, because this is on Mars. And interestingly, all that said, there's actually a mode that you can unlock, Farce, which basically makes the story even sillier. So I'll go ahead and turn that on for now. All right. So let's see. That was East Frontier we just did. You can see these are the top scores. I mentioned earlier, I'm not entirely sure that Roxas ZX here's #1 score is legitimate, or the one, possibility for legitimacy is if he found a specific way to like milk the final boss, to just get it to keep going through its stages and killing the enemies it spawns, rather than killing the enemy himself. But still, that would have been a long time to spend fighting that boss. So, yeah, my best score there was a 1.1 mil. Same difficulty, same ship as I just did then, just a better run a while back. But rather than just grind away on that, I'll do a difficult run of this one. Legendary is sort of the bread and butter of it for me. It's the lowest difficulty where all of the stages are available. Some of the later stages don't have normal or difficult settings. Just because. So it goes. One of the nice things about the higher difficulties is that you have more, because there's more enemies, there's more opportunities to get the score items, and so you can actually stay in Vaunt longer for easy. Which is nice. And that's why I think a lot of really good scoring runs are done in middle difficulties. Oh, I panicked there and made the wrong choice. I'm gonna restart that. It's real easy once you drop out of Vaunt mode and start screwing up to just chain deaths there. Because on top of scoring more, you do a lot more damage here. fucked up there too. And I forgot to go back into falling mode once I had the meter to do it. In terms of time rewinding, I'm not sure. That would be an interesting mechanic. Usually, the thing is, like, the times you would want to use it would be, well, you wouldn't necessarily want to have that as an auto bomb. Because that would just be, it'd be really powerful to use. You know, even if they limited it severely, it would be, you know, a mulligan, equivalent of an extra life. The one thing I will say is, in some of the games I've played, particularly Shock Trigger's ports, which are like really high quality ports and repackaging of some old arcade titles like cave games, which, you know, alone by doesn't mean. What they have is really good practice modes where you can play the individual stages, which is generally the best way to get good. I mean, the way most players get really good who are top is they'll do save state practice where they just grind the same sections over and over again whenever they have any difficulty. So, the practice modes in these games have the ability to, essentially, if you take a dab, it'll rewind you a bit and say, like, okay, now do that section clean. And I remember at least some of them have what they call a Spartan difficulty. That's if you take a death, you have to go back and clear that section 3 times without getting hit again in order to be allowed to progress. But that's more of a limitation and challenge of the mode than it is specifically a it's more a limitation and a challenge of the game mode than it is a like an ability or an item. And it only happens when you take a hit. So yeah, that was not a terrible run. Single hit, not a super long Vaunt combo, but, you know, it could be worse. One that I do want to play, and maybe next time I'll try that, is it's not, you know, related specifically to a rewind feature, but a game called Blue Revolver has what it calls a missions mode, which is sort of like a, you know, practice/challenge mode that you use to unlock certain things, like, you know, remix soundtracks and cosmetic upgrades. I say cosmetic upgrades, it's like you can recolor your ship. But the mission modes are really cool. They're just like slight remixes where it's like, oh, all bullets within a certain radius of your ship become invisible. You just have to know, you just have to remember what's happening to dodge them, which is really cool because when you're really, you know, sort of in the mode of playing those games, you shouldn't be focusing directly on your player ship in the first place. That, you know, if you're looking at a certain pixel radius just around your ship, you're not going to have the time to react, even if you have the most, you know, ridiculous reflexes in the world. It's and they've got other really interesting challenges. So maybe I'll try one of these. Let's see, what was... The challenge modes in this are very much more like specific. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. I selected the wrong ship. So my stick is actually interesting. It's got a lighter spring. I haven't been using this ship, so I don't remember how to use it. I got hit. But it's got a heavy bowl top, and so sometimes if I flick it back to go down, if I flick it back to go down, but I let go of it too quickly, the weight of the ball top will cause it to basically give me a forward input afterwards, which is exactly what happened there when I selected the wrong ship. So this very much teaches you like streaming, how to avoid these big patterns and navigate around them. Because if you're just flailing, trying to go across the screen, you will get hit. Oh no! We were close there. I'm going to try that again. Okay, so I need to go to the right first. Really, this actually teaches you not only the streaming, get around these, just keep the volume of bullets. That was more luck and less skill there. Probably do have the game up too loud here. A bit late to change that. Might as well for the end. That's actually nicer for me too. So I want to do one more. Let's try New Madrid here. Played a bit of the stage earlier. Oh, so actually I'll go back a bit. Notice that this has normal, difficult, legendary, divine, judgment, which judgment difficulty I actually haven't unlocked here on the PC. I might have on the Switch. This later stage, New Madrid, only has difficult at the base, and then Croatoa only has legendary at the base. The moons, these were, I think, DLC originally, also only have difficult and above. We'll try New Madrid. This is a really fun stage. But yeah, one thing that's really cool is, you know, the core concept of a bullet hell here is really obviously quite simple. But the way they can mix and match all the different mechanics and tweak them to create something completely new. Oh, I mentioned this earlier. One of the things I tend to do sometimes is when I'm not fully focused on everything, if I look up and see the Vaunt meter totally full in the top right, even if I'm in Vaunt, sometimes I forget and think I have to turn it on. And that, when you press the button when you're already in Vaunt mode, exit it. Which, unless you're really, it's a last-ditch effort to save yourself, not really what you want to do. Of optimal ways to kill enemies, with the trains you can actually get a lot more score items if you kill the front car of the train last. So like this guy, I killed it last and so it dropped. Well, I thought that's how it did. It didn't drop a huge amount of score items. These big boys, I don't remember what it is. I think you might have to destroy the green one last to get the best score. But, sometimes you gotta make compromises with your route to, because, if you can get it 10% of the time, but normally your survivability is really bad, you're better off, saving. Probably should have waited to activate that, but I've been no hit so far. That's pretty nice. And the seeking missiles of this are really handy because I don't have to be directly beneath the parts that take damage. So here, these red circles, I've got to destroy those before I can actually damage these, which does damage to the boss and takes me to the next phase. If I got above 1 million on this stage today. Let's see what the story is, just because, we skipped the intro to this stage. Let's see what the story is since I did turn on farce mode. Wally was sad. The bad Spanish man had escaped in a super drill train. Wally sat down in the empty tunnel and began to cry. Wally knew it was okay to cry sometimes, especially when something very sad happens. Have you ever had something happen to you that was so sad you just had to cry? What helps you feel better? For Wally, it was his friends who made him feel better. Aw. Virginia, John Smith, and Joaquin gave Wally great big hugs. They told him that it was going to be okay. They would find the big bad Spanish man together. So yeah, again, it's, English and Spanish colonists on Mars. Completely ridiculous, but they turn it up to 11. And the final stage, Croatoa, is pretty bizarre. I don't really feel like playing it again now. I played it earlier, so it'll be part of the video. Traversing the stage involves a bunch of maze-type mechanics, so there's more obstacles. Yeah, I'll try one more. Let's do a run of Phobos. And I had been trying it with a different ship. So these 4 are the original ships. These 4 were added in the first DLC, and these in the second. And this is, I'm playing Jamestown Plus right now, which is sort of, you know, all DLC and everything included, and some slight quality of life updates. The graphics are slightly different. I think Vaunt mode used to make you red instead of purple, like it does here. But anyway, these ships are, you know, this one you see is customizable. So, you know, got the laser. Drop is a really interesting laser mode. But for now, I'm going to play. Well, actually, you know what? I'm going to do drop. I'm going to do this build just because it's well suited to this stage, and how I learned to play it and got my best performance out of it. And then you can choose your regular shot type, which is, as you can see in the diagram, all the different types. I'm going to use duckling mode because it's one that I really like. I like similar modes in a lot of other games where your secondary ships that follow you, which are often called options, it's sort of a formation that they fall in. All right. And you'll notice with drop, I can leave this shot elsewhere so that I don't have to be where it's doing work. This. I'm doing damage on one side. Oh no, I wasn't picking up enough score items and it actually kicked me out of haunt mode. Okay. Oh no! Hit a midair guy. Another thing I mentioned before is basically, and I picked this up from, I believe, an interview with a top player of some arcade title. Like, the fancy dodges can be really impressive, really tight bullet patterns and stuff. But even more so, they indicate that you have not routed well, because the best players avoid those situations in the first place. Which is not me. I'm not on that level of play. You know, this game is not, you know, hyper competitive among the Japanese super players that tear up the most prestigious arcade titles by any means. Oof. Now my objective is to get a decent scoring. Oh, he hit me. I was gonna say hitless run, but I guess we've already been hit. I'll try to ace the boss, which I think I will. This is a really fun boss. It's one of my favorite in the game, and I really enjoy most of the bosses. yeah, with this drop, I can leave that doing solid damage to the boss while I'm just sort of chilling, not, okay. I'm gonna save it for a safety usage, alright. Yeah, that was a pretty weenie score. You know, the best score is definitely going to be hitless, obviously. So I got 700, just over 750,000, almost 751. Well, let's check the story on this one. Contents top secret. Oh my gosh, diary. I hope you're sitting down because I got a story for you. I had to leave the fun castle because being the guest of honor is like super dangerous, and I didn't want to step up anymore. It made my new friends really mad. They tried to stop me from leaving and I had to take steps. Then I found a creepy sideways ship in the super gross moon jungle. You'll never guess what I found inside. A real live ghost. It was like haunted or something, because it was glowing and reciting politically charged poetry instead. Oh man. Anyways, every junior adventurer worth his salt knows that the only way to exorcise a haunted ghost is to bury it beneath a rough-hewn crucifix. Exorcism is basically the best. Hey diary, did you know that you can see another moon from the moon? I sure did not know that, and thinking about it makes my head hurt. I wonder what it's like on the moon, up on the moon, of the moon. Maybe someday I'll find out. But until then, this is John Ghost Slayer Smith signing off. Yeah, no, that's... I really like the Brood Queen, like I said. I think it's supposed to be more of a spider-type boss, but then again, it does have the wings. Because some of its attacks are kind of webby. The bullet patterns, that is. Yeah, I really like it. But yeah, I got about 751,000. Let's check my best score. As you can see, my rank here, 28. Yeah. It was either that or it was just the developers, you know, once you stare at a game or something for long enough, something you've been working on, it becomes completely ridiculous. Like, I'm sure, you know, Kojima didn't see how serious some of the Metal Gear Solid games were later in it. Like, yeah, that was his thing, but at the same time, when you're near the end of the development process and you've seen and you know your story and its twists and its, you know, meanings over and over again, you're just like, all right, you know, this dumb guy doing his shit. So yeah, my top score here was 28th on the PC leaderboards. And it was a just over 1.3 million. So basically what I had plus, you know, 550, almost 600,000. But I did it with the same ship. You can see the this icon sort of indicating the treason ship that I used, and this being that I did on the Judgment difficulty, or Legendary. Legendary, this is Divine. Judgment is the top one, which I don't think actually... It's always interesting to note that like, there's these 4 scores in the top 5 that are from the highest difficulty, and some of that reflects the fact that there's more scoring to be had in the higher difficulties, even if it's harder to stay on the best route for scoring. But also it's the guys who can clear, you know, the people who can clear this difficulty are gonna be able to score well too. And they probably just played a lot. But let's see, is there anyone farther down? Yeah, 46th. And there's also probably plenty of people who scored up around, you know, where I did and above that also have finished it on judgment difficulty, but their best score might be on a different one just because they can play it more optimally. So, I actually had a lot of fun jumping back into this for the first time in a while. I haven't played this game in... Well, I played a bit, like for 45 minutes sometime in the last year. But before that, it had been years since I played a bunch. I played a whole ton when it first came out. Jamestown Plus, that is. And then sort of put it down. So this was de-rusting as much as anything else. I had a lot of fun with it. And so I think I'm going to do this again, or I might do another bullet hell title that I can screw around in. Favorite part about this one for just playing with is the fact that you can select individual stages and it's not just, you know, go through the whole story mode. But yeah. So yeah, I'll talk to you